Are you prepared, good sir? Are you
Pretty
ready
much.
for this wonderful episode of the cat? Oh, shit, I almost said fuck. God damn it.
The caffeinated cynics.
Shit. Shit, I almost did it. I almost did it. I was almost there. Ooh. Ooh, I almost went there. Ooh, the turn-based cynics. Ooh, it's gonna be a bit before I break that one. Woo! And we're back. Ooh, I almost did it. That was gonna be a mess. That was gonna be. Ooh, we'd have to like just cut the show for the week and come back next week. You can't start the show after that. If I had did it, ooh, show's over. That's it. We're done for the week. There's no show this week. You gotta wait a whole week before we can even think about trying again.
You just upload that cut blooper
Yeah, that's
as the
it.
show as the week's show.
That's the show. It's like when you wake up in the
Bye.
it's like when you wake up in the morning and like your whole like you fucked something gets so fucked up in the morning that you're just like I'm just gonna go back to bed. Try this tomorrow. This isn't even. I
This day's
can't.
canceled.
Yeah, today's can't.
Done.
I can't even attempt today. Today is out of my reach. I can't do it. Oh goodness! Welcome back, everybody, to the show that almost never was. The show that almost did not happen. Almost killed the whole damn thing, man. This reminds me of what was it? I think it was Men in Black. Was it Men in Black? I'm thinking of a line that Will Smith said in the movie. He's like, "Man, I almost ruined the whole damn thing." I can't think of it. Well, if I watch the movie again, I'll know the line I'm thinking of. But I have Will Smith
Hmm.
in my head, so good for you, Will. You're still in my subconscious even after you slapped the shit out of Chris Rock on live television.
I was about to say, better have him in your head than on your cheek.
Yeah. I don't think you can rightfully show up to any event after you do that on national fucking television. That's tough, bro. Ever since he did that, like comedians are pissed now because like I think Dave Chappelle got rushed on stage by someone for a
Yep.
joke or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Will
Yep.
Smith fucked everything up because now people feel brave as fuck. People be out here like, yeah, I'm gonna just assault a dude on stage. Fuck it.
And I think Chris Rock was right there, and he even asked, "Was that Will Smith?"
Yeah, yeah. Was it? Was that even worth? I mean, was it? Was it worth it? I don't think. I
I
don't.
mean,
I
hmm,
don't. I
I
mean,
don't know that guy that assaulted Jeff Chappelle. Well, he gotta stay in the hospital for that.
yeah, yeah. Good job with that one, homeboy. Really paid off for you, huh? Yeah. You fucked around and found out. That's what happened to you. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Do you want to go or should I go? It's your choice. It's up to you.
Okay, and don't have much for this week, so
Fantastic.
I've been just playing a bit more with Rogue Legacy 2. Continued a little bit there, found the heirloom for the double jump, and that was mostly it. After that, I did explore one of the areas that you need the double jump for. But besides that, not much happened there. And now I've been playing a bit of Labyrinth of Refrain,
Ah,
a
yeah.
neat roguelike from NIS,
Nice.
where, well, instead of your usual, regular human party or something, you essentially give life to puppets that take different forms. They do look like humans now after being given life, but yeah, they're essentially doing that. The whole shtick to say, okay, yep, it's not humans that get destroyed there, but magical creatures essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been playing that I've gotten a few levels into it. It's quite interesting.
Nice.
Building up my party. I Depending on what you find and what kind of pacts you get, you can sort different slots with different amounts of fighters, which is interesting. and each slot can have different advantages depending on what pact you slot in there, like additional attack, defense, HP, depends. And it's a set amount of fighters that you can have in a slot, and then you can have additional supporters that aren't active in battle, but they possibly give you advantages, but they at least get XP. So it's essentially, if you have so many party members, you can at least get the remaining ones that you have in surplus, keep them on a decent level
Right.
for later on, which is pretty good. So yeah, I've been playing that on the deck and on desktop, so yeah, that works fine with both.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's that's been pretty much my week. So what do you got?
Oh, well, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to give up my slot for something that happened this week. Because it was popping off on Twitter right before it happened. People were popping off on the Twitter. I was so excited. I'm looking at my Twitter feed and people are popping off with hot takes for like 30 straight minutes. I'm like, this is juicy. This is juicy. I want to talk about the Nintendo Partner Direct that happened on the 28th. Because, nobody had high hopes for this. People were like, there's not going to be nothing here. There's nothing juicy going to be happening at this Direct. Ooh, you was wrong, though. Ooh, they delivered. I want to talk about a couple of things. You know what? I'm going to talk about it first. I'm going to say. So they showed off more Sonic Frontier. I've been a bit of a weird spot with Sonic, because I'm just like, damn. How hard is it to make a video game about a character who runs fast?
Well, doesn't seem to be the easiest thing in the world.
It's clearly not easy. And ooh man, the Switch version of this game, if they were showing what I assume to be Switch gameplay for this, or at least Switch footage, it's a little,
I'd assume,
it's a little chunky, little rough around the edges.
Yeah, of course. We don't know how recent the build of that is, because the IGN footage, for example, was also a pretty old build. So we've seen much newer screenshots, and at least optically, they do look significantly better, and potentially also better in terms of how it feels and all. We'll see. But yeah, Switch version, not surprised that would be not that fluid.
A little chunky, a little unpolished, to say the least. They showed off more Monster Hunter Sunbreak. That's looking pretty dope. I've already dropped a decent amount into Rise as it is, and I'm probably gonna pick up Sunbreak not this upcoming week, but the week after. I got shit going down this week, so I can't pick it up this week like I'd want to. Not to mention the fact that there's so many goddamn games coming out in the next, 2 fucking months, dude. Holy shit. I don't have this kind of money to be dealing with this right now. Nintendo, Sony, stop it. I need a break. I've had a break, actually. It's been all summer. I don't know. Summertime is not the best time for gaming. It's actually the slow period. I would know. I don't know. I worked at GameStop, so every time the summer months rolled around, we slowed down hard, hit the brakes. So they showed off that. That was pretty cool. One thing I did not expect from them, one thing I was incredibly surprised by, is the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection.
Yes.
My guys
has been waiting for that for a long time.
My dudes finally did it. Capcom, they were like, yo, we got more Mega Man. We got a franchise of Mega Man nobody saw coming. And that's the Battle Net. Bro, there are so many people I know who are like, Battle Network, they're not going to do anything with that anymore. I'm like, guys, they got to do something with it. Dude, I was so amped for the new Smash Brothers, for like the Wii U Smash Brothers, because I'm like, bro, what if they bring back Battle Network Mega Man as the Mega Man? And they're like, they're not gonna do that. I'm like, but what if Battle Network was on GBA exclusively? It was an exclusively GBA game. Why couldn't
Yeah.
they? Like,
But they at least had him in the
he was
super move, right? In
yes,
the
he
Smash.
he was a cameo in the Super Move, but I wanted him as the playable.
Yeah,
Mega
obviously
Man.
as a playable.
I wanted him as the
naturally.
I wanted him as the actual Mega Man. It's like I wanted him or I wanted X. I felt like either one of those would have been cool. We got old school Mega Man, which I mean,
it's the classic, so he's the default. He's gonna be the default.
I know. Doesn't mean a guy can't dream.
Yeah. This is something new. Would be like X as the main and the Battle Network one as the Echo Fighter, for example.
That would be so dope. Oh my god, I would pay real American dollars for that. 100. I would pay 99.99 American pesos for that opportunity. One thing that they announced, which I'm probably going to buy, because giving Yoko Taro my money is something. He already knows what it is. Giving Yoko.
Yoko Taro. Okay.
Okay, he's like, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, giving Yoko Taro my money.
Can only be one thing.
Giving Yoko Taro my money is I'm okay with doing. That was Nier Automata, the end of Yorha edition for Switch. And I'm like, I'm so amped to play this game again. I don't even care, dude. I beat it once. I'm gonna go back and beat it again. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I might beat it a third time. You don't know. Hell, I might just beat it again on all my platforms. Fuck it, I'm already here. So they announced that, which I'm honestly surprised. Like, I'll be honest, I didn't expect Automata to end up on Switch. That wasn't something I had ever really thought about. I had never really considered that to be an option to be on Switch. But if they're gonna give it to me, I mean, why not?
You're not gonna complain.
No, there is no complaining here whatsoever. They announced the new Mario and Rabbids game. If you're into that,
they didn't exactly announce it. They just
showed
said something new about it.
Yeah, they just showed.
Because announcement of that was quite a while ago.
I haven't been paying that much attention to it, so
I think it's probably been too long since they talked about that last time.
This was like the first time I'd actually paid any attention to its existence. Yeah. So to me, it was an announcement.
The first announcement of that was, I think, at an E3 2 years ago, probably something like that. And since then, probably not that much happened.
E3, do you remember E3? See,
when E3 was still a thing, yeah.
When the bygone era when E3 was a thing, yeah. Good times, right? But the thing that people were popping off on Twitter about, you already know what I'm about to bring up because I left it for last. CD. You should already know. We saw it was announced for Xbox and PC already, and they officially confirmed it. It's coming to Switch. Persona 5, Persona 4, and Persona 3 Portable. We're here, ladies and gentlemen. I can finally stop seeing this shit on my timeline every fucking 3 days. You said it yourself. You was like, finally, we can move on.
You have to sort them in the order of 5, 3, and 4. Because then you can go with the subtitles. RPG.
Yeah. God, man, it took them so long. I would love to know. I wonder
it's
if
interesting because Strikers has been out on the Switch for quite some time, from what I remember.
Strikers launched on the Switch simultaneously with PS4, so why Strikers was honestly, I figured P5 would end up on Switch once Strikers ended up on Switch, because I was like, well, if you put Strikers there, you're gonna eventually have to put the game that preceded it. Like, there's no way you're just gonna
Mhm.
put the sequel on here. That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, and Joker has been a playable character in Smash for quite
Yeah,
some time.
right. Like,
I think that was even before Strikers was even announced.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was an interesting reveal
Yeah,
back then.
that was at the game. That was a
Yep,
random
Game
reveal at the
Awards.
Game Awards.
Hmm.
So how we
It was a well done one, but yeah, still kind of weird.
ended up in this predicament is beyond me. And
Hmm.
in case anyone's wondering, I'm gonna just throw this out there. I'm not restarting my playthrough to do this shit on Switch. I'm not. No, that's not. I've had like six.
Not again.
I've had so many people who know me, who know I'm buying this shit on Switch. They know I'm gonna do it,
Mhm.
right? And they're like, "So, are you going to restart? Are you going to like play up to that point and just play it from Switch from now on?" I'm like, "No, absolutely not. That is a terrible idea. Oh God,
I mean, why would you?
yeah, no, no, I absolutely not. I have better ways to waste my time."
Hmm.
I will probably get all three though. People were like semi like mad that it was portable and not Fez. I kind of get why it's
Mm-hmm.
portable and not okay. Like,
I mean, Portable was already ported on the PSP first, so I mean, it was on the PSP, so it's the more modern version.
Mhm.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
Remastering the videos might be a problem. Who knows?
Yeah.
Content-wise, besides the videos and all, content-wise, it's pretty much the same, right?
Uh, yeah. Mostly, it's just that it treats traveling between areas as a visual novel,
Mm-hmm.
and the portable version, whereas it treats it more just like a normal JRPG traveling kind of thing, and
Yeah,
you
it's a
can like,
menu system essentially.
yeah. So that's
It's a
the
map menu.
And
Mm-hmm.
there's also like you said, there's none of the cutscenes, which I mean,
Yeah,
depending on how you feel about that, that can either make or break the game for you.
true,
That's
true, but
that's more of a taste situation than
mm-hmm.
an actual objective. This is a worse game. I don't necessarily think this is going
Yeah.
to be a worse game for this. I feel like at this point, Atlas finally not dragging their fucking feet on putting this anywhere. Like, you know, on one hand, like I get it. Like Persona has done incredibly well being on like PlayStation, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Persona 4 was huge for them. Like the original Persona 4 on PS2, fucking huge. So
Mm-hmm.
on one hand, I get it. Like I'm not even like tripping on them with that. Like I get it, right? But Persona 4 Golden happened and they put that on
Mm-hmm.
PC and they got blown the fuck out.
After a few years, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, because they put Golden on the Vita. And while I'm sure
Yep.
that made sense at the time, I'm sure they look back on
Mm-hmm.
that business choice and go, maybe, maybe
Yeah, sales
not.
probably weren't that great.
Yeah.
Probably.
Look, I think it's fair to say that me and you will both stand by the Vita to some degree as being a good
Yeah.
handheld, right? We both,
Mm-hmm.
we'll both
Yeah,
die
it
on
has
that
its
hill.
flaws, but it's a good system.
It's a hill we will both die on. Well, maybe I'll die on it. You might choose to abandon ship, but I
It
respect it.
depends on the criticism. I either stand by it or not. Depends, because they definitely overdid it with the controls.
Did they?
I mean, the whole back side touchpad thing was not a good decision.
This was a situation of asking yourself if you could, but never bothering to
Mm-hmm.
ask
I don't know if you
yourself if you
should.
should. If you should, and clearly nobody asked themselves that very important question.
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, like I said, with the Persona games, it's good to finally see it announced on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a very Nintendo move that it would only be announced at a direct and not it wouldn't have been announced at the original event where we found out about What was the event that they announced it for Microsoft and PC?
That's.
Was it a
I'm pretty
Microsoft?
sure that was the Xbox event.
Was it?
I'm
Was
pretty
it?
sure that was the Xbox event. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then never mind. I thought it was more of a generalized. I couldn't remember if it
Mm-mm.
was a generalized event or not. Okay.
No, this that was in the not E3 week, where
Ah.
each company still had their own event streamed,
Ah.
and that was Microsoft and Bethesda, obviously with them together, and then we had Sony before that with the State of Play. They didn't have a separate thing on their own there. And then we had all those PC gaming show and all that. But yeah, we didn't have a general event there.
So did
So
you?
that's yeah.
So I have a question. Did you, when you were growing
Mhm.
up, did you play Monkey Island? Was that something that you played?
Um
It wasn't some. It was
not
something I didn't play. I didn't play it. I know for
not
sure.
not growing up, not directly, I think, but later on I did.
Yeah.
The first and the second. The third, not really.
I was just surprised Monkey Island's getting like
Yeah, that was a bit of a
a
surprise when they
game on
originally launched.
a game on Switch. I was like, ah, well,
Mm,
cool.
yeah.
That's something different.
Mm,
Not what I
yeah.
would have signed up for. I didn't choose to look at a Nintendo Direct for a Monkey Island game. That wasn't what I would
Mm,
have signed on for this event for. But you know what?
mm,
I'm gonna take what I can get.
yeah. Sure.
All
Although,
right.
to be honest, optics-wise, I am a bit half and half on that title.
Oh, really?
The way it looks, the art style, yeah, that seems alright. But I don't really like the animation style they do with these type of games nowadays. The whole cardboard cutout thing where they
Yeah.
just move the limbs like that. I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, it just. Mm, no.
They've really stuck to that art. That's been a consistent art style over the last few years for a lot of these kind of
Yeah.
games. The kind of like you said,
I'm
the
not sure what started it. It might have been that Double Fine adventure from Kickstarter
yeah,
back then,
I think it was that.
but
That
yeah.
now like it's a cool it's a nice aesthetic. I just feel like it really
Yeah.
only works if like the game itself kind of like if it was like a kid's storybook aesthetic,
Yeah,
like a
for
kid's
yeah.
storybook or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. That at least then there's a narrative reason why it looks that way. But when you just make
Mm-hmm.
have these games just fucking look that way, then it's like
Yeah. I think
why?
the Double Fine adventure made it look like it's drawn more with crayons or something like that.
Yeah,
So there the look made more sense, but with the Monkey Island game, I don't know.
doesn't make a lot
The
of
the
narrative
the
sense.
art style in comparison to the animation style, that clashes a bit for me.
And
But hmm, I mean, yeah, I'm not the only one that has a problem with that, as we've seen online.
news that semi surprised me, and also
Hmm.
kind of didn't. Sucker Punch says there's no Sly 5 or new Infamous game coming. They have no
Yeah.
plans
Hmm.
for either of those franchises. This
Yeah,
doesn't
I'm
this
not really surprised.
yeah, cuz like
That chapter is pretty much done for them.
Infamous Second Son wasn't
Hmm.
it was all right. It wasn't I don't know. It didn't do it for me. I wasn't really
Hmm.
then again, I'm not a huge fan of open world games to begin with. Like generally speaking, they don't
Okay.
really. I'm not a fan of opening up a map and just seeing a bunch of random fucking things all over the goddamn map. That just doesn't appeal to me. I
Hmm.
think a lot of it is that Ubisoft kind of
The Ubisoft formula, essentially.
yeah,
Hmm.
the Ubisoft destroyed open world games for me. I don't find them fun. I find them formulaic and a
Hmm.
giant fucking checklist. And if that's the case, I'm just not into
Yeah.
it. Sly Cooper though, that is a little surprising because I feel like Sly
Hmm.
Cooper would do well
Probably.
Well,
But
wait,
how
did
many Sly
did
Cooper
Sly
games
Cooper
have they done?
did Sly Cooper get a new game for PS3 or PS4? I don't remember. I feel like it would have gotten something for PS3. I know it had the remasters. No, it had to have gotten some.
Yeah, Thieves in Time was on the Vita and the PS3.
Huh.
They had that, and then they had the Sly Collection, which was the remaster of the first three games on the PS3.
Which,
Yeah.
which, to their credit, held up really well. They held up really well. I don't know. I don't know if they did anything extra to make them hold up. I know I've talked about how a lot of PS3 remasters were just a simple upscale, and then you just leave them alone. And God of War looked fucking rough. You can't just up the resolution on that and hope to God that works. That does not look good. That is.
Yeah, they probably had an easier task with Sly Cooper on that because the art style is just, well, it's much more cartoony.
Yeah.
So it works much easier to have that look better in a higher resolution.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Because it was not working otherwise. That's for damn sure. Holy shit! All right, so everybody's favorite software protection, their favorite software fucking up my game because it's causing an actual performance hit, but not really, because of course nobody who makes this is going to admit that it causes a performance hit, no matter how much evidence you provide. Denuvo, DRM Secure DLC, wants to end DLC piracy. Now, excuse me for a second. I was unaware that pirating DLC was as much of a thing. I mean, I guess I should have known better. That's me. I just never thought about pirating DLC as opposed to just pirating the game, because I kind of figured that. I don't know.
True. I only remember that being a big thing back when Fallout 3 came out. Because there it was in the news because I think they didn't have any checks there, so people just copied the DLC out and then pasted it in elsewhere. And it worked.
Yeah, not to mention, you'll love this. So the Xbox 360 version of the Game of the Year edition for Fallout 3 has two discs. It has the game disc, has a DLC disc. The DLC disc is not locked at all, so you can just pass that. You can just pass that shit to all your friends, and they can all install the DLC for Xbox 360. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that's yeah, making it extra easy.
Yeah.
That's just oof.
I remember this because I got a 360 and I was talking to you about this. This was years and years and years ago, and I'm like, man, I really want to play Fallout 3. And you're like, yo, don't buy it. The Game of the Year edition is coming out. Don't waste your fucking time buying it. Just buy the Game of the Year edition. And I'm like, bet. Good looking out. So
that was good timing back then.
Yeah. So Denuvo is pretty much the industry leader when it comes to DRM. I mean, so they say. I mean, I guess they are.
The truth, pretty much.
Yeah. So they're turning their eye to DLC, saying that by using public and easily accessible tools, players can easily circumvent the requirement to pay for DLC, acquiring the content for free. That's what secure DLC is intended to combat. Okay, here's my thing. Right? I would love to know what the statistics are for people who buy the base game and pirate the DLC.
That's a good question.
Right? Because, like...
although part of it is also they want to do this for free-to-play games.
Free-to-play? What?
Yeah. Free-to-play games where you can buy additional DLC for it.
Oh.
That would make sense.
Yeah, that would actually make a lot more sense. Because, like, the thing about, like, DRM I know I've said this before. I don't mind if you want to protect your investment. That's fine. I get that.
Sure,
But in many
sure.
cases with this DRM, once it's no longer supported, it basically just kills the game with it.
Mm-hmm.
I forget there was some game from like the early aughts that had like I think the Starfield DRM in it, and it was
Star Force, I
Star
think
Force
you mean.
DRM, and it was no
Mm-hmm.
longer supported, and the game was basically unfucking usable. Cause
Yep.
you know
Yeah,
what I
or
mean?
if you have an old game that still works on your current Windows, usually, but it has a a copy protections mechanic that doesn't work on the newer Windows system, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
Like Securom or one of the older ones that don't get updated anymore for those games. And if they don't release any official patch for that to remove the DRM, then yeah, there can be problems,
Yeah.
and they usually are.
Because it's interesting how piracy is now becoming the new way of game preservation. Although,
Yeah.
I
Well, not just becoming, it's well, kind of been that way for a while.
yeah, thanks Nintendo. Thanks, thanks. Really, really great job in preserving your own and allowing people to preserve your own
Mm,
history for you. Appreciate you. Really great.
mm.
Appreciate that. But yeah, they want to use this to keep people from tampering with DLC, as well as it mentions here, as well as any free to play developer who wants to protect their revenue. It's fair to say Denuvo's name has garnered no small amount of controversy amongst gamers, for games such as Tekken have suggested that Denuvo technology is behind performance dips in their games. And it's not just Denuvo; it was one of the Assassin's Creed games, the Egyptian one. That one,
Mm-hmm. Odyssey.
they
Origins.
they
Mhm.
directly proved that the copy protection in that was fucking up performance on people's
Mm-hmm.
systems.
Yeah.
Now, Denuvo claims it had nothing to do with them, of course, because who's
Mm.
going to admit that their software
Obviously. Yeah. Obviously.
who's going to admit
But
that
that's still fucking bullshit, given how complex Denuvo is. I mean, yes, it's sophisticated, but that also means it's goddamn complex and multi-layered. So yeah, there's gonna be impact there.
yeah, like it's not this isn't
That's just a matter of fact.
yeah, this where we've long since passed the days of like CD keys or like
Yeah,
or
or look up words in the manual.
yeah, that too. I forgot about that one. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Or what was it?
Or,
Online
or
check-in?
speaking of Monkey Island, having a code wheel
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember
with
that.
the pirate heads that you had to turn. To find out which pirate was hanged when on a certain island. Yeah.
So yeah, Denuvo is forever going to be a thorn in people's side. Though how much
Hmm.
of a thorn it is still debatable because many times it's cracked within sometimes within the first 24 hours, sometimes within the
Yeah.
first week. Um
Sometimes it takes a while, but usually it gets cracked before sooner or later.
yeah, it's going to
I
get
mean,
cracked
as
no
it
matter.
always has been.
Yeah, it's going to
It's
get
pretty much
cracked.
always has been that. It's always just a thing when there's a new generation of copy protection, like a new major version of the Denuvo, then it takes a while for the first few games to get cracked because they obviously then employ some additional things that check and protect. But yeah, it's always at some point there was a time when the groups said, okay, this is getting too much. We're probably going to throw it in, but nope, hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, but like my thing, okay, so on in theory, I don't have too
Hmm.
much of an issue, right? But like
Hmm.
if your game is already on Steam, right?
Hmm.
Isn't Steam on its own merit a form of copy protection?
Not necessarily. You still would need stuff like Steamworks and all implemented to have a real copy protection or DRM mechanism there. Because technically, if you just release it on Steam, have it on there, and you have no other additional implementation of any API from Steam, for example, then it's pretty easy to get that out there.
Really? Huh.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
And there are several DRM-free games on Steam as well. So Steam itself is just the method to get the game shipped out.
Get the game into people's hands.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds about right. All right. Well, I learned something new, I guess. Shit, I was out here thinking that Steam itself was a form of DRM in its own right. Turns out I'm fucking wrong. All right, fair enough. Learn something new every day, whether I like it or not. That's just how it's gonna be. I guess I can talk about EA. Everyone else seems to be talking about fucking EA.
Just having a bit of fun at their expense, like many people.
So,
how would you like to be a social media person for them for a day or a week?
I would have to believe I could do a better job. Like, I don't, like, no, like, I have to believe I could do it better. Like, I don't, like, honestly, it always really kind of throws me off whenever, like, you see people who are paid real dollars to be a social media person, and then they post some, like, tone-deaf, brain-dead bullshit on the feed, and it's just like, so you're paid real money for that, huh? someone pays you for this. You're paid to do this, like actual money, not fucking Monopoly money. You're paid real Dolores to do this. Okay, I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
So,
although I think they would have to pay me a lot more than they usually pay to be their social media person, because what kind of shit they get is probably not worth it.
Yeah. Like the kind of shit you probably have to see when you hear an EA social media manager, like that does not sound pleasant.
Yeah.
That sounds like a miserable life experience. Like, I work retail, all right? I know what misery looks like, all right? And I would still pick retail over this shit. Given the choice, I would still be like, yo, I could be a social media manager for EA or work retail. Fuck, man. I'm taking that retail. Fuck that. So, it's no surprise. It's not even a new fact that EA doesn't have a lot of love for single player video games. They've always,
which is weird.
They have on almost every occasion basically said single player games are dead in one form or another. They've outright said it at times, and they've basically kind of just been like, we'll make a couple once in a while, but for the most part we don't really believe in it as a business practice. So EA the glorious mind behind this tweeted, there are 10, but they only like playing single player games. Oh, I would love, God, I would love to know how long it took for whoever tweeted this for someone to call their phone and be like, bro, what the fuck did you just do?
Yeah, this might have been a mistake, maybe.
I maybe didn't think this through. This made sense in my head, but then my fingers touched my keyboard, and then I realized I had made a grave mistake. And as this article points out, it's really kind of ridiculous that they said this, concerning the fact that Vince Zampella, the head of the EA studio known as Respawn, a studio that's only made Titanfall 2, Apex Legends, Jedi Fallen
Jedi
Order.
Fallen Order.
You know, like 2 big
Currently
single.
probably working on Jedi Fallen Survivor.
Yeah, one of them being a very successful Star Wars franchise single player experience that EA still hasn't been able to top with their multiple Battlefront games.
Getting a sequel
Yeah.
soon.
And
Yeah.
Vince's only response to this was purely a facepalm.
Yep. Just the facepalm emoji, nothing else. Well deserved.
Dragon Age writer David Geider says, as usual, EA jumps on a trend, misses the point, and punches itself in the face. BioWare.
While the A appears and hurts itself in its confusion.
Former BioWare studio manager Aaron Flynn says, "You ... make single player games." Cool. Dave Mumbach also wrote. Oh, I'm sorry. Zach Mumbach also wrote, "This is the company that shut down my studio and laid off 100 great developers because we were making a single player game." Also, if you break game rating scores down to a 10-point scale, most EA games are a solid 6 or 7. Not because the developers are bad, but because EA, the corporation, forces them to rush games out. EA corporate leadership wouldn't know what 10 looks like in terms of video games. Ooh. Fucking ooh, hot damn! Hit them where it hurts. Hit them where it hurts. Let them know. Let them know. I love it. I love it.
Jeff Keighley's reply was also nice, I think. He posted the scan of an ad from Electronic Arts, an older one, where it had the title, "Can a computer make you cry?" ? It was back then when they still, when Electronic Arts was more than just the name.
Even Sea of Thieves, the Sea of Thieves Twitter were in on this.
Pretty much everyone went in on the roast with this one.
Like, and I always talk about being self-aware. Like, that's kind of a big thing I emphasize when it comes to just being a reasonable human being, is being able to look inward on yourself and go, maybe this was a mistake. Maybe I'm the problem. But man, I guess even more so, I'm just kind of like, EA, do you, like, even if EA, like, stupidly believed that, like, single player games aren't profitable, which is ridiculous.
Which they're disproving themselves. So
yeah, which EA's done themselves. They've already disproven the fact that they're not profitable or infinitely profitable. But let's face it, EA wants Diablo Immortal. That's what EA wants. Right? Like, that's what that's what every developer wants. They want a game based on a incredibly lucrative franchise that is infinitely monetizable, that'll keep people coming back in theory, and that will make them hundreds of thousands of dollars in the first 2 weeks, and then they can just claim the game just burned itself out. Because
they want Diablo Immortal, they make CNC Rivals.
Ooh, you did that too. Ooh. That felt like shade. That was actual shade, wasn't it? I felt that one. That actually hurt me. Like that I actually felt that. Damn. Okay. So for one reason or another, EA decided to respond. Roast, well deserved. EA tweeted a few hours after it posted its initial tweet. We'll take this L because playing single player games actually makes them an 11. Really? Really? Okay. All right. You took.
I mean, far be it from me for claiming that they stole that from my quote tweet, but.
I wouldn't hold against you if you wanted to just be like, you took that from me. It's fine.
I mean, I'm not going to go through 70k quote tweets and 15,000 replies, so
I guess it's even more ridiculous because like EA has done EA has things they could do single player with. Like let's not forget that time they somehow managed to ruin and kill SimCity.
Yeah.
They killed SimCity. They killed it. Like,
yep.
Not even hyperbole. They straight up took that bitch behind the shed, put that barrel directly to its temple, and sprayed that bitch all over the side of the barn. That shit was messy. And what kills me is that they claimed up and down this game has to be online. There's no way we can make this offline. It's not possible. This game will not.
Obviously they have to claim that.
There's no.
Once they have that design.
There's no way that this game could ever work on an offline. Oh, wait a minute. Someone's already patched the game and now it plays offline just fine. Fuck. Whoopsie doodles.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else?
And then City Skylines comes and eats their lunch money.
Here it is. In 2012, EA executive Frank Gibau boasted that he had not greenlit a single game that would be developed as a single-player experience. A little later, the always online requirement in EA's 2013 SimCity reboot ended up causing a Diablo 3 style launch meltdown that led to EA to pull back on those live service ambitions because it did not go the same. You know what though? I'm not, because they do the Sims, the Sims games, but I almost hate to bring those up because when you look at the sheer amount of stuff they charge you for in those games, it's actually
ridiculous.
It's actually kind of gross. Far be it from me to tell you how to spend your money, but I would be remiss if I didn't at least say that the sheer girth of stuff they somehow managed to sell you in Sims. Now, look, I haven't played a Sims game much. I think I played one of them years and years ago. So I don't know. Maybe the modern Sims are worse, but the sheer amount of times I've seen trailers for stuff packs in Sims.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It is an absurd amount of stuff. Yep. Here it is. So I pulled up Sims 4 on Steam, which is currently going for $5. For just the game, just the base game, just the average basic bitch video game. So you already know that $5 is probably not going to get you a lot. You already know, sir, you're not getting that much. So CD, they have 57 different content packs. Kits. There's different varieties of content packs you can add. Look, I don't like it when articles pop up that itemize how much all the DLC costs for the game. I think those are kind of silly because most regular people aren't going to buy every single piece of content for a single video game.
These are themed for a reason.
However,
Like,
however, I don't think it is entirely unfair to say that a single video game that also manages to have $600 something on sale worth of content might be a little egregious. Might be just a little egregious. Like
maybe a little.
a little
Although to
egregious.
be fair, this game has been out since 2014.
Yeah, that's
So
a very important distinction.
obviously, if they are not gonna make a new game as long as these DLCs sell well enough,
Right.
and which they obviously do. So it's obviously gonna be continuing to stack up. But yeah, definitely overpriced DLC in a lot of instances. Could
Yeah,
be done much better, but
all the expansion
it's not a
stuff,
surprise that there's that much.
all the expansion content, like
Mhm.
city living, get together, seasons, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
These not the kits or the not the kits, like the actual like expansion stuff range anywhere
Yeah,
from
Snowy
$20
Escape expansion pack,
range any
$40
yeah
originally.
yeah range anywhere from $20 to $40, which
Yep.
is like you know
I don't know how much content you get with those, but probably a decent amount. But it's probably still overpriced
yeah
comparatively.
still a lot of money. Like I said,
Sure.
I don't like that conversation that came up because people do that shit with like DOA. Did
Mhm.
that shit with like DOA when
Mhm.
they're like, oh, there's all this content, all this DLC content, and I'm like, yeah, but no one ever buys all that content. That's
Yep.
ridiculous.
Yep.
Nobody actually does that. And while I understand the point you're trying to make, I still think it's a really stupid way to go about it and saying no game should release with this much DLC.
Mm.
No.
Well, they usually don't release with that much DLC. That's the thing.
Yeah. We haven't.
Because it builds up over time. Like if you go to look at the train simulator,
Oh, my
which
favorite.
is the an absolute beast in that regard.
Wait, the game or the trains?
Both.
Fair enough. Fair, fair enough. I'll let you have that one, sir.
Because that one kind of it does it in an interesting way
Oh.
in comparison because they always release new versions of the train simulator.
Mm-hmm.
But once you buy it, you get those updates,
Ah.
each of them. So essentially, you buy it once, then they release the 2017 version, 2019 version, whatever. You get that.
Uh huh.
That's essentially your update that you get each time. That's how they build up a massive list of DLC. You think that Sims 4 number is high?
Oh no.
Look at this one.
Oh dear.
Over the years, they have accumulated 673 entries in the list.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me get comfortable. Oh yeah, I gotta get comfortable for this. Oh shit, we about to get real. Hit me, CD. Hit me. I'm ready. My body is as Reggie was from Mother 3.
I don't have a. I. Steam doesn't even give you a number anymore there.
Oh no. Oh.
So outside of Steam, what I could look up was it adds up to around $10,000.
Wow.
But I'll say it's understandable because they do it in a good way. Because you get each DLC gets you either additional trains or additional routes, depending, and you can pick what you want. And it's not like you have to buy the new yearly version of the game and then you have to re-buy the DLC. You just get the technological updates and you have what you bought back then, even however many years ago.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And they're currently at the, let's see,
Sir.
which version is the newest one? Yes.
Sir.
Uh-huh.
According to my Steam,
Uh-huh.
you own Train Simulator.
Yeah, it was in some humble bundle. I've never played it, but yeah, it was one of the bundles.
I was looking down at the Steam page, and I have 4 friends
Mm-hmm.
who own the game, and I'm like, oh, who owns this? And then,
yeah, probably all 4 of them got it through a bundle.
about to say, because
Would be my guess.
none of these 4 people who own this strike me as someone who I imagine sitting down on a Friday night playing Train Simulator. I just don't see that from you. That's just not what
Nope.
I would inherently think you'd be doing. I'm not saying that you can't, and I'm not saying that I would judge you for doing so. I'm just saying that when I think of you, CD, I don't think of Train Simulator. That's just not what comes to my mind. You know, I'm just
understandable. What I could see someone getting this for would be achievement hunting.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay.
Because Train Simulator Classic has a number of achievements. 1,354.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a few.
That's quite
Just a few.
That's quite a few. That is an extraordinary. I was gonna say that's an extraordinary amount, but the thing is, I don't necessarily understand Steam achievements the same. Like, okay, how do I say this in a way that doesn't make me sound retarded? Okay, no, all right. So with Xbox, right? You have like an overall score, right? Every achievement has a score, so you have like an overall gamer score. So like that makes sense because it's all quantified into that score, right? I have a buddy of mine I lost contact with over the years. Dude has somewhere in the ballpark of like 75,000 gamer score, right? It's probably higher now. It was 75 years ago when I last checked. The guy's a monster, an absolute beast, right? I think Sony does roughly the same thing. I don't think
you have levels with the trophies for Sony's
so I don't
stuff.
How does Steam quantify that? Does Steam even quantify that? Is that
Yeah, let me check how exactly it does it. You can have an achievement showcase on your profile. Like you have your amount of achievements, you have your amount of perfect games, you have your average game completion rate.
okay.
And then you can have a list of your rarest achievements. Like, for example, for me that would be one of the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis Classics ones. 5 large, which is yes, for columns gain a high score of at least 5,000 on easy, and that one is only owned by 1% of players.
Oh.
Or there's one from Torchlight, Noble Lineage. Only 1% have that as well, which I think is having a specific amount of retiring 2 characters. Yep. Stuff like that. So
I do
it's
appreciate.
not quite the same with that, but yeah, they at least have that.
I do appreciate the fact that like they're making it more of a thing to where like you find out the percentage of people who played the game actually got said trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Because in some ways I feel like that makes a trophy a bit more valuable to people when they know that
Mm.
like a very small percentage. But then like you see like certain games where like 99% of the people got like the first chapter achievement, but that by the time you get to
Mm-hmm.
like chapter 3, it's fallen off to
Yeah, it
something
goes
like,
down to 30 or something.
yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
drops off really hard. And it's like, the fuck happened? Chapter 2 was great.
Yep.
Chapter 3 is fantastic. Where did you people go? Where did you all go? The game's
Yeah,
great.
and then you look at more and more games, and then you see, yep, that's just normal.
That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Apparently,
Mm. Yeah, pretty much.
people fall off towards the
Yep.
middle.
Usually third, the third, a third of the way in, there's a massive drop off usually.
Which, to kind of bring this back to the initial topic about EA,
Mm-hmm.
does that justify EA's beliefs?
Well, depends on what their goals are, and
Like, cause
considering they often want continuous monetization. In that regard, maybe yes,
like
but
if the just
it's
if
still.
if your argument is that like you know what, I'm gonna do EA a favor and I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
nuance their stance here far more than they ever have. I'm gonna nuance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a nuance their stance far more than they've ever bothered to. And EA, if you ever see this, you owe me. If the argument about single player games is that why make a single player game where statistically most people don't finish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even this isn't just RPGs we're talking about. This is a very large amount of single player games where, like you said, the player total in achievements drop off precipitously within the
Yep.
first few segments of the game. People just stop fucking playing. So
Mm-hmm.
if that's the argument, then the argument could easily be, well, why are we going to invest money in making an experience where most people, statistically speaking, are just not gonna finish? Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if our game isn't a 90-hour RPG and it's like a 10-hour fucking single player experience,
Mm-hmm.
most people don't finish it. I've seen,
Yep.
I've played Uncharted 1, I've played
Mm-hmm.
Bayonetta. I know what those numbers look like. Neither one of those games is very long. But I could tell you
Mm-hmm.
right now that only like 20% of the people actually beat Bayonetta. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like that I don't agree though. I don't necessarily think that single player experiences should just stop fucking existing. I think there could be
Definitely not.
I think there could be the argument for EA if they had the level of nuance necessary to just point to sheer statistics and say, well, statistically most players don't finish them. So
Yeah, and on the other hand, they have their FIFA Ultimate Team stuff, which brings them in boatloads of cash continuously. So yeah,
yeah, I
it's
don't.
obvious where they got that attitude from.
Yeah, like I said, I'm probably giving them way more nuance than they have ever considered.
Mm,
And
considered or deserved.
yeah, yeah, because it's hard for me to be like I used to say like if you can con stupid people out of their money, then
Mm,
more power to you. But there's a point to where even I look at the con and go, okay, this is excessive. This is
mm-hmm.
this is abusive. Diablo Immortal is abusive. Let's not
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
like we can talk about FIFA all day long. People have been doing that shit for the
Mm-hmm.
last like decade, all right?
Yep.
But young yeah can talk
But
about
FIFA Ultimate Team a- actually has ways to just play it without spending money.
right.
Not optimally, maybe, but
You can.
if you
It's
put in the time, you have no problem with it. I have a friend of mine who does play that regularly, and yeah, it works fine. from what if I remembered correctly, they've even improved on that
I
in the last years.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
This is more of a cultural question, so bear with me on this, all right? So let me
All right.
preface this. I'm an American.
Hmm?
We don't give a shit about soccer in this country.
Sure.
Okay?
I mean, it would be the same with if it would be, for
keep
example,
in mind,
Madden.
keep in mind, we call it soccer, not football. Okay, that's the important
Sure.
distinction. Does
Sure.
Germany give a shit about football? Is that something that Germany cares about?
American football, not as much. No,
No, I mean like
hardly.
no, I mean like football, like soccer, like
Yeah.
the
Oh, soccer. Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
It's a big thing.
Is it really? Even in Germany?
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
I'm honestly, yeah, like I know like South America, Mexico, other places,
I
football.
mean, our team has been the world champion a few times.
This shows you just how American I am.
Obviously, yeah.
there, there's your
Obviously, you wouldn't know or care,
right. This
but
shows you
yeah,
just how American I am.
yep.
Asking,
It's a it's a big thing here,
I'm asking
definitely.
because,
Hmm.
like, here, like,
I personally don't care,
right,
but it's a big thing.
but culturally within like the
Yeah,
country, it's a
absolutely.
big thing. Okay,
Hmm.
like
Absolutely.
here in America, there's like there's three sports
It's
people. There's
absolutely it's an absolute niche over there
yeah, oh,
in
absolutely,
comparison. For you, obviously, it's American football.
yeah, American
So it would be
football or
essentially, yeah, for you it would probably. I'm guessing Madden probably has an Ultimate Team
yeah, it's
variant as
Madden.
well, and yeah,
It's
that's gonna be getting them Madden loads of cash.
yeah. I was curious because I know
Hmm.
that like South America, Mexico, a lot
Yeah,
of the adjacent
Europe in
countries.
general is it's pretty good. It's pretty
Yeah,
big.
I just knew about those sets. I didn't know
Hmm.
whether or not like Germany was also one of those
Yeah.
countries that like signed on for the
Hmm.
football.
Yes.
So like World Cup comes around, that's a big deal then. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Fair enough. Now I understand. Thank you for indulging my stupid American brain. I felt the need to contextualize my question by saying I'm an American. Please bear with me. That's that usually gets the point across because there are a lot of things that we do here in America that do not translate in other
Hmm.
countries. Like
Yeah, and vice versa,
yeah,
obviously. Yeah.
there's a lot of nuances in like just the way our countries are
Yeah.
that just don't translate.
There's a reason Walmart failed over here. Well, there's
Ooh,
a lot of reasons, but yeah.
yeah, that. Welcome to
But
America.
that's essentially. Hmm.
That's a very American. That's a very American. I think one of the handful of things America and like Germany have in common is a love for beer.
Hmm.
I think a love for alcohol that might be one of the handful of things that we probably do
Yep,
have.
I'd say that fits. That
That
fits.
I think
Hmm.
that checks.
Beer, video games. Hmm. Nice cars, I'd say, although
Yeah.
not as big ones in comparison.
Oh, that's another thing. Before I wrap this show
Hmm.
up, okay, so this is another American nuance I need to explain to
Hmm.
you. So when it comes to buying a car, CD in America, there's a phrase that people use that usually signifies value and quality in a car, and that phrase
Hmm.
is German made.
Ah.
Right, right. You see, like, it's made in Germany. They make the best
Hmm.
cars. You know what I mean? Like that's huge. German made
Hmm.
cars are like the biggest thing here in America. Like BMW is
Yeah.
massive. People will go
Hmm.
over the hill for, that thing, right?
Yeah.
And I
The premium brands, so to speak.
yeah. And like I've always kind of made the joke that like we do that for like German stuff. But I'm pretty sure there's not a single country that has something that they go, it's made in America. I don't think so. I don't think
I
so.
don't think it's
Yeah,
that way.
about
At least, certainly not with cars, because the problem is also many American cars are big,
big. Yeah.
and
Yeah, we're not. We
your roads are also bigger in terms of width, mainly.
Yeah, no,
And
I've
there are a
seen.
lot of cars that y- your country makes that aren't even allowed to drive here because they're too big.
Yeah, I've seen video of European roads and like the
Mm-hmm.
European mountainside roads and shit.
Uh-huh.
Scares the shit out scares the ever living shit out of me.
Now
Scares me
imagine
to
something like a Ford F-150 or something
oh,
driving on that.
God no. God no.
That would not work.
You would have to turn that road into a one way. It could only be you
Mm-hmm.
could not it could not be a two lane. It had to be a one lane.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yep.
we we Americans here are good at a couple different things: making big things, living in excess, and supersizing. I think that's like the
Mm.
three things that we are extraordinarily good at. We supersize a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually kind of disgusting what we do in this country. Just love America all you like, I guess. It's just I'm just keeping it real. I'm just gonna keep it real. Not even gonna lie to you on that one. Thank you for
Mm.
enlightening me. I've learned something else
You're
contextually
welcome.
between from my small little box that is America. Because the joke around here is every year the World Cup happens, and every single nighttime TV show says the World Cup's happening and nobody cares. And I'm like,
Mm.
yo, that's that's harsh. True for
And thank you for an insight on that perspective as well.
the. Yeah, no, it's not. Look, you could tell we don't give a shit about that sport because we changed the name to soccer. We
Mm.
changed its
Yeah.
name. Obviously, we don't respect it as a
Mm-hmm.
sport. If
Yeah,
we,
because for you it's American football.
yeah, it's Yeah, we had to put a
That's the one.
qualifier on it to make sure you
Mm.
know it's ours. And what is American football other than slightly more vicious rugby?
Yeah, it's
Am I?
supersized rugby.
Yeah, like I'm not like like it's this rugby. It's rugby, but a little bit more.
Supersized.
Yeah, bigger rugby. See,
Hmm.
I'm a little more knowledgeable than most people give me credit for. Anyways, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this fantastic show, ranging from EA being stupid to Denuvo being terrible and Nintendo throwing us all kinds of sweet new products on this partner direct. And the freedom I get to feel now, never having to see Persona 5 on Switch on my timeline ever again. It'll never, ever, ever come up, but it's going to come up again, isn't it? It's going to come up again. As always,
With Persona 6.
oh God, please let it be be a PS5 exclusive. Tell people it's too big of a game and too intensive for the Switch to run, and kill that shit immediately. As always, everybody, you can find our lovely show on a multitude of platforms ranging from Apple, Google, and even Spotify. We are live every single Wednesday on both those platforms and YouTube in video form, if you are so inclined to listen and or watch, or fuck, maybe even do both. I don't know how you get down. As always, everybody, time for another fantastic week. Don't let the grind bring you down. I know it's tough some weeks. It's tough for me. My alarm goes off in the morning. The first thing I'm asking myself is, what the fuck am I doing? Why aren't I still asleep? You gotta just keep pushing. Keep on pushing. Don't let it bring you down. I promise you, you're gonna get through it like you do every week. You're gonna get to your weekend and feel good for it. Game on,
Yes.
as always, everybody. And until then, We will see you all next time.
See ya.